Hey everyone, how were your sales in June? Mine were like mezza-mezz. Not great, that's what the Italians say when you mean meh, they were okay. No complaints, looking to up that sales number this month, but stay tuned and I will get right into it and let you know all the ups and downs of my sales in the month of June. Hi everyone, welcome back to Lori's Boston Found, where thrifted is the new black. My name is Lori. I am a full-time reseller on Poshmark, eBay. I also do a lot of direct sales through my website at lorisbostonfound.com. Welcome to my channel. I am a full-time reseller. I sell mostly clothing. Majority of the clothing that I sell is women's clothing, but I also sell men's and children as well. Once a month, I like to get together with you guys and let you know how my sales were. Before I get started, if you are new here, I am so happy that you found me. Thank you so much for tuning into my What Sold video. I release videos on Mondays and Wednesdays. I have a special series coming out next week where I'll be adding one more video to my week, so stay tuned to the end and I will give you all the details on that. If at any point during this video you are having a good time, you are learning something, or you are just mildly entertained, feel free to hit the like button. And more importantly, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and be part of this community. Once again, this month, I use the Seller Insight app that helps give me a lot of analytics and details about my sales. So that is super helpful. And I've used it now 2 months in a row. So let's just start by talking about the number of units sold. I always find that interesting. My overall goal for items sold on Poshmark in a month is 150, and I definitely fell shy of that this month. So in June, I sold 107 units, and that includes what were in my bundles. In May, I only sold 98. In April, I sold 150, so that was right where I wanted to be. And in March, of course, when the pandemic hit, I only sold 84 units because I definitely felt that dip right in the middle of the month when all hell broke loose. And I can't believe it's already July and I'm going back 3-4 months to talk about the start of this pandemic. It's so crazy. Anyways, the average days listed, this is from Seller Insight, and this is something I don't typically track because I consider myself a long tail seller, but 154 days on average items are in my closet. So I don't know, that's because every video Lulu has to walk in and then walk out. Hold on. I don't get too stressed out about items that have been in my closet for a while, but that being said, I still am focusing more and more on finding items that are gonna flip fast. But if I do find that item that I know is gonna sit for a while, but I think the payoff is gonna be worth it, you bet I will still pick that up. And there are also items that I feel are doing better over on eBay, so I am cross-posting a little bit more. So let's get into the numbers for this. My total revenue earned on Poshmark, this is my gross income. So this is not including Poshmark fees or my cost of goods. My average cost of goods is around $5 for pre-owned items. I do pay up for retail arbitrage items, but just know that, keep that in the back of your mind. If I know what I sold something for, I will share it with you during this video. So my total revenue on Poshmark for the month was $3,135. Definitely lower than I'd like to see it, but still not too bad considering we are in the summer slowdown. But I actually have just not been listing quite as much. So I feel like that has something to do with it. And I've been really making an effort to be consistent on YouTube, and that's been taking time. But my average selling price is right in line where it normally is, $29.30. And I sold $119 worth of merchandise on eBay. And for direct sales, I sold $357 to people direct from viewers who saw something either in a haul or on my Instagram story or things like that. But $215 of that $357 was for a combination of 2 dolls that I put together. If you haven't seen my American Girl video, if that's something you're interested in, it's a little out of the realm of what I normally do, but I'll link that up here. But there was a woman who watched that and then reached out to me and asked if I would put together a package for her granddaughter. So I took 2 dolls, she picked out the dolls that she wanted, and then I dressed them up in cute outfits. And I also included some pets and books, and that went out to her. So that was $215 of my direct sales. So in total, we were at $3,611 on the month in sales. Plus I generate a little bit of money from my podcast and then whatever I make on YouTube, and that in any of my affiliate links, like through Amazon or Vendoo or things like that. And that kind of gives my full broad picture of income. One of the things that Seller Insight tells you are categories that do well and then brands that do well. But what they do is they break it down by dollar amount, which is kind of interesting. They kind of give you your bottom line. And the way that I used to measure this was based on units. So if I sold 10 items from Levi's and then I sold 7 items from Lululemon, I would put them in that order according to how many items sold. But the way that Seller Insight calculates the information is based on what your bottom line is, like how much money you made off of these brands. So I'm going by that. And they, I believe, give you your net number. So my top 4 categories this month were tops, and then shoes was number 2, dresses was number 3, and shorts were number 4. Now, dresses being in that top 4 is a real treat for me because typically dresses don't sell very well for me. But in my last video, I said that I had like an abundance of dresses, and that if people sent me offers for dresses up to 50% off, I would strongly consider accepting a 50% off offer, and then anywhere in between of my dresses. And I had a lot of viewers reach out and make offers on dresses. So I think that's where that came from. Shorts, because I think they're in season. Shoes are I always do well with shoes. And then tops, I think I just have so many tops. I have a lot of tops for people to choose from. So those are my top 4 categories. I gave out $60.11 in discounted shipping, and I paid $3.99 to upgrade 1 package. My top 3 selling brands were Free People, Vineyard Vines, and Athleta. Again, it goes by how much you made from that. So Free People, it's at $124. That's after fees. Vineyard Vines was $82 and Athleta was $63. So I thought that was interesting to share with you. Free People and Athleta are usually in my top. I'm surprised that Lululemon wasn't up there this month. If you have seen my videos in the past and how I run my What Sold videos, I always go over a variety of categories. So today's categories that I will be covering are my highest selling items. I'm going to talk about things that sold fast, so like a week or less in general. I have a section that I call By Felicia with a lot of affection, and that refers to the items that I am just so thrilled to see go for whatever reason. It doesn't always mean that they sold for a low dollar amount. It just means that their time with me has come to an end and it couldn't have happened any sooner. So off they went. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about bundles, and I'm going to talk about some trends that I saw in my closet and for my sales this month. So let's get to it. We'll jump right into the highest sales. I'm going to talk to you about my top 8 items that sold for $60 or more. So we'll start with the lowest item and work our way up. The first thing that sold was a Patagonia rash guard that I picked up on Retail Arbitrage, and I paid $14.99 for this. I had it listed at $80 and I received a $60 offer really fast. This could also be in my fast flip category, but I decided to put it in my highest sales because of the number. So $60 with a $15 buy-in, that's a pretty good profit. And also the fact that it sold so fast made a big difference. I will sometimes take a little bit of a lesser offer if it comes in really fast, because it means I don't have to put any work into that item. Like, it just sold super quick, so I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit of my profit to not have to potentially put in weeks and months of sharing and sending offers on an item. The next item that sold was this Kate Spade Poppies Floral Tote Bag. And I picked this up at Savers quite a long time ago, and then it sat in my death pile for some time. Then I believe I featured it in a handbag video that I did earlier in this year, and it still was sitting around. So I think I had it priced over $100 at one point, like $125, received a decent amount of attention. but I lowered the price to $99 to get it under $100, and then I finally received an offer for $60 on that. So I was happy with that. I feel like Kate Spade and Coach do sit for me, and I do have a lot of their inventory on hand. I mean, a decent amount. So anytime I can move one of those brands, I'm pretty happy. Next up was this Free People Mix It Up tunic, which was so beautiful. Another retail arbitrage piece. I think I paid $15 or $18 for this. I definitely paid up for it a little bit, but it was beautiful. It was at this place that I picked it up. It was at this place that sells Free People samples. So I was able to get that, and one of my viewers, Dee Dee, purchased this. Thank you, Dee Dee. This was also a fast flip. I think she saw it in my haul and it went pretty quickly, and it sold for $64. I think she paid full price for that. And it was beautiful. It had such gorgeous detail in the sleeves, and I know that Dee Dee loved it. So I was really happy with that. The next item that sold was a leather purse from Coach. So interesting that I have Coach and Kate Spade in my top selling priced items for this month. It kind of is shocking to me, but I sold this Coach Soho flap buckle. This is like a beautiful Coach piece. This is a classic style from them, and it sold for $65. I was really pleased with that. I either got this from my mother-in-law. I think my mother-in-law gave me this bag. I honestly am behind on listing purses. Some people love to list them, and I don't know what takes me so long to get them listed, but I have a lot of purses that sit around, and this was one, as well as that Kate Spade one, that sat for some time. The next item that sold for $69 was this gorgeous Robert Rodriguez dress. It was new with tags, but can I tell you, this should have been a buy, Felicia, because this has been in my inventory since September of 2018. When I first found it at Savers, I remember it very distinctly. It was $9.99, and I was thrilled that it was a new with tag item. Didn't know the brand Robert Rodriguez, and then when I looked up the designer and I saw the places where Robert Rodriguez was sold and the price that it was sold for, I was super excited. I think the retail value on this dress was about $400. I listed it pretty high to begin with. It had been listed for a very long time. Finally, I relisted this item, which is a practice that I'm doing more and more, and you'll hear in a couple of my By Felicia pieces how that has worked to my advantage. But I have relisted some of these items. This was one of the items that I did relist, and I think I sent out offers on this one. So $69, and I may have even done like free shipping. I just wanted this. I wanted people to be incentivized to buy this, so that's what I did. The next item that sold for full asking price totally shocked me, and it was Vineyard Vines. I sold this boy's navy blue blazer with the gold buttons, very classic New England looking blazer, sold for $85 full asking price. And I was very hesitant to pick this up because I don't pick up kids stuff as often as I used to, unless it's something that I know will sell. And I guess this was one of them. When I looked up the comps, I was really surprised to see that the comps range from like $40 to $60. And I think this was $9.99 at Savers, and of course I had a coupon, so it was either 20% off or 50% off, so either $5 or $8 for this. I listed it high, thinking that I would get an offer for about $50 and I would land there. And I was so thrilled when somebody purchased this full price. And it was, you know, number 3 of my top 3 listings for the month of June. So thrilled that that went to a child's listing. I will say Vineyard Vines is definitely picking up for me. I think it's more of a summer brand. I know it's very popular in my area, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Cape Cod, very preppy, very summer vibe. So that tends to do better for me in the summer than it does in the winter months. So I was happy about that. Next 2 sales were my top 2 sales of the month, and they both made me very happy, and they were both shoes. So the next item that sold were these pair of vintage Bally, B-A-L-L-Y, Bally boots. It's a designer, very high-end designer. I picked these up at a church rummage sale. Nobody was looking at them. They were on the floor. People were going crazy for like the Nike sneakers around and whatnot, and I saw these boots, and I said, those are something special. And I looked inside, and they were Bally. I was thrilled. They were this beautiful leather boot, very comfort, like had like fur lining on the inside, and they sold for $100. I received a $100 offer. I was so excited, especially given that this offer came through in the middle of June. These I priced very high to start with. You know, you don't really know with vintage and designer. Sometimes you sell these vintage pieces, and they can go for an extraordinary amount of money. And then sometimes designer pieces can sit much longer than you ever anticipated they would. So these boots, I think I might have listed upwards of $300 at first. I only paid $3, but you know, aim for the stars. And I probably should have cross-posted these sooner to eBay. Maybe they would have done better over there, although they were listed at the time of the sale, but I don't think I cross-posted them until later on. Yeah, $100 on these on a $3 investment. I was thrilled. And then my last item were these Prada heels that sold for $125. And this was like a particularly gratifying sale, and I'll tell you why. So I had a woman who had sent me an offer on these. I think I had them listed around $160, or no, I had them at $199, I think, for a long time. And somebody offered me $75. It was less than half. And I'm like, you know what, I'll sell them for $100. Countered at $100. She kept coming back at $75. She started at $60 or $65. She did come up to $75. But my bottom line was like $99 or $100. They were Prada and they were in beautiful condition. I consider them a timeless looking piece. I have a pair of Gucci loafers that are very dated. They're very 90s looking, but these I think are timeless. And they were gorgeous. I did send her a message because she kept being very adamant about the $75. And I finally said, you know, if these are sitting around for some time, I will consider lowering my price. But right now, the best I can do is $100. And I thought that was pretty reasonable because I was coming down $100 essentially for these designer shoes. And she didn't want to budget $75. So beyond $75. So anyways, they had been listed for, I don't know, let's say 3 weeks, another 4 weeks, whatever it was. I got another $75 offer from the same woman. And this time she just wrote next to it, "What about now?" I don't know what about that comment rubbed me the wrong way. She could have been 100% well-intended. I just felt it was a little edgy. And had she said something like, "Hi, I just wanted to check back in. I know it's been a month. I'm wondering if $75 would work for you now," I probably would have said yes. But the fact that she just wrote, "What about now?" I don't know why. Was I being unreasonable? Maybe I was in a bad mood that day. Anyways, I declined. And then I was kicking myself a little bit, like, should I just taken it? I only paid $4 for these shoes. I bought them at a Salvation Army in Connecticut. And they were on this great special where the whole store was a percentage off. And I thought there's no way that discount's going to apply to these Prada shoes, but they did. Well, in the end, I said no. And I waited around for weeks after that. And just when I was thinking I made the wrong decision, I got a $125 offer and I was thrilled. So the moral of the story is sometimes it's worth holding out for a price. And, you know, for all of us, it's different where we want to draw that line in the sand and say, I'm not going to go past this point. That was kind of an emotional thing for me. And emotions aren't always the best thing to let get in the way of your business. However, in that case, it worked out for me because I made $50 more on the sale. But generally, we're all different, right? We all know what our price margins are. What is okay for me may not be okay for you. Some people might have said you should have held out for even more. Some people may say you should have taken the $75. This is your business, so run it the way that feels right to you. Sometimes I've held out and it's been totally worth it. Other times I've held out and kicked myself because I'm still holding on to something almost a year later. Now let's shift into fast flips. These are items that sold relatively quickly from the time that I purchased them to the time that they sold, making for not a lot of work for me, which is always exciting. The first item that I'm going to talk about is this cute little Tote travel case. I bought this at Savers in Rhode Island when we were still in lockdown. Rhode Island opened up before Massachusetts. So I traveled down there. I found this in like the little, you know, where there's makeup bags and such, and it was only $3, new with tag, to me. I was thrilled. So I had this listed, I think around $80 or $90. 80? I don't know. But I did receive a few offers in the 30s on this right up front, which I declined or countered, and then, you know, people walked away from it. But then I did receive an offer for $45, which I thought was great. Maybe I could have held on to it for a little while longer, but again, with a $3 investment to turn it into $45 made me very happy. And I'll also say that during the month of June, and you're going to hear me say I could have held out a little bit longer, when my sales are suffering a little bit and I felt like things felt slower in June, and I kind of have like the summer slowdown in the back of my mind, I'm just more likely to take a sale. Because if it's like 6 o'clock at night and I don't have any sales, in the books for the day, I start getting stressed out. So I'll start taking offers depending on how my day is going. My goal is to hit at least $150 in sales per day. I didn't come anywhere near that this month, but keep that in mind, because sometimes I'll just take a sale because money in my hand is better than countering and having somebody walk away. Really depends on the vibe of the month and how I'm feeling and how my sales are going and all that stuff. So the next item that sold fast went to a viewer. And I do want to mention that a lot of my fast flips did go to viewers. So they've seen items in hauls and then they reach out to me and they either buy it directly, or they'll, if I've already listed it, they'll just come on to Poshmark and make a purchase. So this went to a viewer, so thank you so much. And it was this beautiful J. Jill boho button-down cardigan. And J. Jill is not a brand that I seek out. I pass on it 9 times out of 10, but this was so pretty and I absolutely love this sweater and I knew somebody else would love it. That sold very quickly, probably a day or two. The next item that sold were a pair of like new Vans that I picked up at the bins, and I've been slowing down on purchasing Vans and Converse and Toms. Those are the 3 shoes that I've just pretty much slowed down on that I used to pick up all the time when I went to the bins. Maybe I'm going to the bins a little bit less, so I'm seeing those less, or maybe I just have stuff that's been sitting around, but these were in great condition and they were very classic and they received a ton of attention right off the bat. And at the bins, you know, I probably paid $1.50, so I received a $30 offer right away and I was pretty happy. I think these sold in between 1 and 3 days. So that was great. You're also gonna see a lot of my fast flips are shoes. And so this next pair is a pair of shoes. These were also a high-priced item. These are Jack Rogers wedges that were really, really pretty. And just a week prior to me finding these, I had passed on a pair of Jack Rogers boots in a local consignment store because the comps were so low. But Jack Rogers, I don't think is known for their boots. I think they're known for this style shoe. Maybe not the wedge specifically, but this design, I think even more so the flats. But these were in like new condition. I picked them up at Savers. They were no more than like $9. And they sold really quickly. Maybe I listed them for $65 and I got a $55 offer. I think that's maybe what happened, but they sold super fast and I was thrilled about it. The next item that I decided to include in this category, I wanted to specifically include because it was a low priced item, but I'm really happy about this sale. So Pink by Victoria's Secret. Another brand I'm not like super thrilled to pick up. I'm very selective about what I do pick up. I feel like I get a lot of likes on Pink, but it doesn't sell. But I had a ton of people in one of my previous videos when I mentioned that Pink doesn't sell great for me say it was like their top selling brand. So I know that there's a market for Pink out there. And I also know that when you buy their stuff retail, it's relatively expensive. Anyway, I found this pink strappy bra, this floral bra by Pink at the bins. And I just thought it was so pretty. It reminded me of something that Lululemon would sell, you know, for 60 bucks. And I picked it up. It was under $1 because I found it at the bins. And then it sold so fast. I got a $15 offer and I usually list my Pink bralettes and stuff like that around $24. And then I'll start sending offers out like $19 with 20% off with discounted shipping. And I usually sell in between 15 and 20. So 15 was on the lower end, but I had just listed it. And I thought I might as well sell this and have the money in my pocket than wait on it. So that went out the door. The next item that sold was given to me by my friend Maureen, who had given me a lot of clothes. And actually her stuff is doing really well. She should be a buyer for me because her stuff is moving. But it was this Disney NASA tie-dye Boeing Endeavor shirt and received so much attention right away. I knew when I saw this in the trash bag that Maureen gave me, it was something special because tie-dye's big. It was from Disney parks. It had like the NASA thing going on, like it just had a lot going for it. But this also went to a viewer and we settled on $40 for our price and that sold within a day or two. So that was a great flip. That was free. So very excited about that. And the final item that I chose to feature for this video were these Tory Burch flip-flops that they did not have a size. And I was very nervous estimating the size for them. Excuse me. They were $4.99 and I bought them the same day that I bought the Jack Rogers shoes at Savers. And I found both of those items right away when I got to the store. So I was so happy. And they were $4.99 plus 20% off. So they were very inexpensive, and they flipped very quickly for $35. So I love to share with you the brands or the styles that flip really fast. Sometimes it's just luck, and other times it's items that people are seeking out, so that's why they sell quickly, but I always think it's fun information to share with you. Let's move on to my Bye Felicia section.
Bye, Felicia.
I'm also going to talk briefly about whether or not I would pick these up again or what I would do differently about the listing of this item. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is this Barbour striped wool scarf. I picked this up in an estate sale. I think they like threw it in at the end because I had a pile of stuff. It probably cost around $3. I had it marked at $65, and I think that might be where I went wrong. I think maybe I marked it a little high. This should have been like a $50 price point, and then it would have turned up in a couple of searches, you know, like the $25 to $50 search and the $50 to $75 search. And I just think that number may have been better if I could do this over again. But it ended up selling for $30. This was another item that I relisted. This had a crazy amount of likes. And sometimes those are the things that end up in my Bye Felicia category. It's not that they're not great products. I mean, this checks a lot of boxes. It's a classic piece. It's a very high-end brand. It was wool, so good quality. It should have sold. And that is, I like to say, when there is something that should be selling and it receives a ton of likes, that's maybe a good candidate for an item that needs to be relisted. If you have an item that nobody's paying attention to and that nobody's liking, maybe it was just a bad buy and you need to mark it lower or pull it or sell it to consignment. You can relist those, but if something is a good item, it's good quality, it has a lot of attention, and it's still not selling, but it's been in your closet for a while, definitely time for a relist. And that's what I did here. And finally, it sold for $30.
Bye, Felicia.
So now that's also like the second heavy winter piece that I sold. Wool scarf in June. Love it. The next pair of shoes that I sold were these Jackie Dunn Asian-inspired tattoo heels. So these were new without tag. I bought them at a little honey hole that you're gonna see a haul from on Wednesday. They were very unique. There is nothing not unique about these shoes. And they were stilettos. I did not anticipate selling stilettos in June, but a lot of attention on these as well. And I think sometimes those pieces that receive a lot of attention, those are the ones that frustrate me a lot because I don't know why they're not selling. I know I sent out offers on these shoes for $30 before. This was just a random buyer, I believe, that came in and made an offer. Actually, that must have been the full asking price, $49. By the time these sold, I think I must have lowered the price. They've been around for a long time. I don't even know what the story was with these, but Bye Felicia. I'm so happy they're gone. They were so unique, so it was a tough sell. Sometimes you get those unique pieces and you know eventually they're gonna go, but they aren't gonna be something that sells right away. But these were worth it. I paid $4.99 for them and they sold for $49, so that was a win. The next item I wanted to reach out to you guys and ask you about, because I sold this Roots hoodie with Saturday Night Live, like SNL logo on it, which I thought was kind of cool. I picked it up at the bins. I know the brand Roots from Canada. They have nice quality pieces, I think. I thought that the SNL thing might be a pro, but actually it ended up sitting longer, right? Because you're looking for a specific buyer who's gonna want it with a logo. However, it only sold for $20. Took a long time to sell. I had a ton of lowball offers on this that just frustrated me, but in the end it sold for $20 and I was really happy. But I'm curious, do you pick up the brand Roots? It probably would have sold without the SNL faster. I do like this brand. I do plan on buying it again, but this was definitely a Bye Felicia by the time this finally sold. The next item that is in my Bye Felicia category are these Gwen Stefani lamb heels. Again, they sold for $38. That's not a bad price, but they sat for a very long time. They're really a little out of my comfort zone. I'm much more of a casual seller, but I'll definitely buy heels if it's a brand. And I know that Gwen Stefani has a following with her lamb brand. She doesn't make it anymore, but I've sold, I think, one other piece from her collection. I think I sold like a wallet. $38 wasn't a bad price. I was thrilled when I got the offer on these shoes because I really thought that they were gonna sit there forever. So I hope whoever has them loves them. So another pair of shoes. It's funny, shoes are everywhere. They're in my high price category, they're in my Bye Felicia category, they're in my fast flips category. I love buying shoes. The return on investment is so good. I'm getting much more fussy about flawed shoes. I tend to pass on those now, even if they're a really good brand, but I love to pick up shoes. The next one, this should probably be at the top of my By Felicia list. Hudson shorts. Okay, you know how I said the Barbour scarf like checked a lot of boxes for what was good? These checked a lot of boxes for what was bad, which was Hudson jeans don't sell super well for me. They are a very high priced retail item that just doesn't have the resale excitement anymore. They did at one point, but they don't so much for me. Let me know if you do very well with Hudson. I pass on them a lot. What I feel like still does well are the flat pocket, the Hudson flat pocket denim. For whatever reason, I feel like bigger sizes have sold better for me. I think I sold a pair last month that had been around for a while, or maybe it was Paige, Joe's jeans, Hudson jeans. They all blend to me right now. Those brands are just like frustrating, but plus they are a color. So they are like this green. Plus these sold before and then I couldn't find them. So I had to cancel the sale. These shorts have had quite a road. Plus I bought them at a yellow tag sale at TJ Maxx and I've had them going on 2 years. So man, oh man, was I excited to see these go. So $24, I was thrilled. I think I had these marked at like $58 at one point. I had them marked really high because when I was new to reselling, I thought that your price tag on a new with tag items was a correlation to what they would sell for. And I was wrong because as you know, certain brands may cost a lot, but they don't sell for a lot.
By Felicia.
On those Hudson jean shorts. They're actually so nice. I mean, there was nothing wrong with these jeans. They were adorable, but colored denim doesn't always do so well for me and this brand doesn't always do so well. The next item that sold, as I mentioned earlier, Toms. I used to pick up Toms a lot. I leave it behind a lot now. Plus, they get very beat up, and I tend to shop at Savers a lot where they mark it up, and it's just so not worth it. So I will still pick up Toms shoes in a unique pattern in tip-top condition at the bins because they're super light, which is where I did get these cute little lemon Toms shoes for girls, but they only ended up selling for $10. That is not worth my time. And I had them for a very long time. So some kids stuff sells and some kids stuff just sticks around forever. So yeah, By Felicia to those little shoes. I'm sure there's some little girl who looks absolutely adorable in these shoes, but I'm happy she has them and not me. Then the last item that is a By Felicia is in this category, not because it's not a great piece or a great brand, but because it took up a lot of space in my closet. And sometimes I am willing to sit on like a sports bra or a pair of leggings that take up no room for a long time before I will sit on coats that take up a lot of space. So coats, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with because they can really bring you in some good money. But if they sit for a long time, they're taking up real estate in your house. So if you are short on space, or if you just don't like a lot of clutter, you may not be somebody who wants to carry a lot of outerwear, but the upside to outerwear is it can be a really great return on your investment. So anyways, paid $5 for this awesome vintage J. Percy Marvin Richards faux fur coat with the real fur collar. It's like a bomber style. This was an A+. I was surprised this didn't sell sooner, which is part of my frustration. I bought this when I was with my mom up in New Hampshire for her 70th birthday. We did like a thrifting marathon that I hope she wants to do for her 71st birthday, Mom. If you're watching, let's make a date for October. We got this coat. It had a little stain on it that came out really easily and they discounted it at the register because of the stain. It was, I mean, I think it was marked $5 or $6 and they gave it to me for like $4 or $5. It was really inexpensive. It just took up so much space. In another winter coat that sold in the middle of June. So this sold for $55. The woman went back and forth with me, had a lot of questions, but it ended up being a great sale. But I was still so happy to see this go because my closet just was like, ha, when this coat left. It took a big, deep sigh. So By Felicia on that, and that wraps up my By Felicia category. Let me know if you had a By Felicia this month and what it was and if you would buy it again. So I would actually buy that coat again. It was really good, but I'm kind of frustrated that I bought it in October and it didn't sell until June. I felt like it had a lot going for it, but sometimes you just don't know with vintage, like the Bally boots. It could sell right away. I actually love to pick up vintage. Vintage just isn't as predictable unless you are a vintage person. And by vintage person, I mean a person who picks up vintage clothing regularly. And I'm trying to educate myself. I feel like I have a decent eye for it, but sometimes stuff just sits. Okay, let's move on to my bundle sales, and we're gonna talk quickly about a couple trends, then we'll wrap up this video. So I had 8 bundle sales, and I am a real believer in taking time to establish relationships with your potential clients through the bundle feature. And I do have a video that I think you might find helpful. If you haven't already seen it, I'll link it up top. So I talk about bundle sales and starting a conversation with people when people start liking your items. So I won't get into it here, but I really value bundles and I put a lot of love and energy into making bundle sales. So I had 8 bundle sales this month. They totaled $645. The average selling price per item, not per bundle, but if you take all the items that were in the bundles, was $23.04. So lower than my average selling price, but not too much lower considering sometimes you give really deep discounts in bundles. And my kind of standard discount in a bundle, it's listed as 15% on the Poshmark app. So that's what people get automatically. But if I see people liking a lot of things, I will offer them 30% off unless it's some exceptional item that I'm really strict on the pricing with. And I will message people and let them know if they create a bundle of 3 or more items, I will give them 30% off. And that tends to work for me a lot. And it also starts a conversation. I say all the time, it's a lot of seed planting. Sometimes I will send that message to someone and they will leave things in their bundle and maybe they don't ever respond or they let my offer expire after I let them know that, you know, this offer will stand 3 items or more. And I can't tell you how many times people have come back after months go by from that initial message and they say, will you still do 30% off a bundle? And I'm like, hell yes, I will. So let's do this. And I just always say yes, because it's a great thing. I love bundles. $645. And if you look at my total sales on Poshmark, which was like 31 and change, 3,100, this accounts for about 1/5 of my sales. That's not insignificant. It's actually slightly more than 1/5 of my total dollar amount in my sales. So, and I also think that a lot of people who purchase bundles are repeat customers. I have this theory that if you take the time to start a conversation with someone in a bundle, there's just a lot that, I mean, I have some conversations in bundles that go back like 40 times back and forth. That's long, but I do have a few. And I just think it's a great opportunity to get to know someone. You kind of make some small talk, some jokes, and you help them out if they're looking for something special. And I find that a lot of my people who buy bundles are also people who are repeat customers. So if you're one of those people, comment below and let us know if you've bought from me before, if you've ever bought a bundle, and then if you are a repeat customer as well. Because I think there is a little bit of a correlation. You should look at your own numbers and see. I'm going to talk a little bit about some trends that I saw, and I'm curious if you're seeing these as well. Cycling gear. Number one, bike shorts are so popular right now. I know this because I keep trying to buy them for my Peloton and they are sold out everywhere. I went to Everlane recently in Boston when they opened, and the one thing I wanted to get were bike shorts in the longer length, and they were sold out until September. And then Lululemon was just having a sale online, which I placed a big order, and all I wanted to do was get the 10-inch high-rise black bike shorts. Sold out, and I take a size 10 in Lululemon, so I was bummed about that. But I have sold my only 2 cycling shorts. They happen to have the pad, which the ones I'm looking to buy do not. But I think between everybody who's at home ordering Pelotons and exercising on their at-home stationary bikes, and the fact that bike shorts are such a trend right now, they are selling out everywhere. So if you have bike shorts, get them listed. If you see them when you're out, pick them up. They're hard to come by right now, I find, at least in my size in black. Even on Amazon, I went to buy like the Align or the Lululemon knockoffs that they sell on Amazon, that I actually have those linked in my Amazon store. My daughter loves them because they also have a pocket. And they were sold out when I looked for like a large/extra large and the longer high-waisted black. Maybe they're back in stock now, but I just think that those are pretty hard to come by. So that's a trend I'm definitely seeing. I had 2 low-end cycling shorts that sold around $20. I also sold like Bohemian lounge pants. I know that's like a thing for me lately, but I sold 3 pairs in the month of June, all between $20 and $30, all pre-owned. None of them fancy brands. So that seems to be working out for me okay. I sold some heels this month, which I was surprised to see. And then all the winter clothes. I don't know why that's happening for me. So these were like just things that stood out in my closet because I sold the ballet boots, I sold the Barbour wool scarf, and I sold the vintage faux fur coat. And those were just items that I featured in my video. There were probably more. And now I'm starting to head into selling a lot of denim and sweaters. People are definitely thinking about fall. So I just wanted to share those little trends that I saw in my closet with you. Okay, so that's it for this video. I do want to talk to you briefly about a quick series that I'm going to do. I think it's going to be a 4-part series, maybe 5. I'm going to try to get it done in 4. In one of my previous videos, I asked if you would be interested in seeing my process. So what happens when I leave the thrift store, and how do I process my items and get them out the door? So step by step. And I had a lot of people in the comments tell me they would like to see that. So let's do it. I'm going to kick off my little series called From the Store to Your Door. It's just corny enough that you will remember. So my From the Store to Your Door series will kick off this Wednesday with a haul video. And then I'm going to do 3 videos next week. So Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, as opposed to my typical Wednesday, Sunday. The second video is going to be talking about the spreadsheet, what I do when I get home from the store, how I do the intake, list things in my spreadsheet, what I decide to wash versus what I decide to steam, that whole process. Then the video after that is going to be me physically taking pictures and doing measurements and doing drafts. I thought that would be really helpful for you to see, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to try to do it in 4, maybe 5 videos, but I think it's going to be a really fun series. And then I'll do like a little recap and maybe have, I'm thinking about developing maybe like just a little handout, like a free download that you can download on my website at lorisbostonfound.com to have like a little bit of a checklist. I always say whatever I share with you is never intended to be like, this is the way you should do it. It's always like, this is my version, and there's a lot of good and a lot of bad about what my version is, but take from it what works for you and apply it to make your business just what you want it to be. So that's all for today, everyone. Don't forget to like this video on your way out if you enjoyed it, and remember to subscribe to my channel. Hit that subscribe button. I would love you forever. And I will be back really soon. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope your sales are going well, and I hope you're listing a lot, because that always equals a lot of sales for me. So take care, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll be back real soon. Bye.